Welcome back. This is Ways to Love Your Money. I'm Elisabeth Dawson, and I have a great friend of mine here today. His name is Joe Deutsch, and I can't wait for you to hear his story and about what he does in his profession. So without further ado, I'm going to start with Joe. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Oh, good, good. I'm so glad, because I know that sometimes being on these kind of shows, you just don't necessarily know what to say, but we hope you have a lot to say today. So tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it, and really where your passion is. So tell us a little bit about what you do first.
I am an insurance agent broker, so I work with families, small business owners to help them protect their assets and make sure they have the right coverages in place for the right amount of money, and make sure they use their insurance dollars wisely.
So you're in something more like what's called property and casualty, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so protecting
Absolutely.
your home, protecting your business, protecting the liability of all those things, and making sure things get replaced the right way. So what are your bigger obstacles or challenges with that?
Just communicating the importance of certain types of coverage that give people added benefit, added protection when they aren't necessarily very familiar with it. So insurance as a whole is kind of a dirty word. You know, you tell somebody you're an insurance agent or broker, and you've just ruined the party for them. But what I do is very rewarding. It's very satisfying knowing that I protect people and their assets, and something I can be proud of.
That's great. And I know that you have a different and a unique process too, where you actually do a proposal that has multiple pieces to it, where you talk about, well, this is what you could do, or you can have option 2 or option 3, what's behind, door number 1, 2, or 3, right? But I think it's really unique because a lot of companies that are in the property and casualty business do not do anything like that. So you really are more of an advisor. Would you say?
Yeah, we really strive to be an advisor more so than just commodities. Here's insurance policy A, B, go ahead and take the cheapest one and run. It's really more about what fits best. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's not a lot of options, but almost always, more often than not, there's a lot of different pieces that you can kind of tweak and make fit you best. So
Mm-hmm.
just depends on the situation, and sometimes it's simple and sometimes it's very complicated.
So what's the wildest thing that someone's ever asked you to help get them insurance for? To protect that asset.
Gosh, probably at this point a castle.
A castle. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a unique piece of property in Alpine, actually,
Okay.
that you may or may not have even seen.
I am familiar with
You
it.
know the piece
Yes.
of property, yep. So it was insured during kind of a real estate speculation deal, and it had some very interesting characteristics that kicked all the normal insurance companies out of the market, and we had to find some specialty in insurance.
You were able to get it done?
We were.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'd
good.
love to say that it was super cheap, but it wasn't. But insuring a castle is just not something that comes, dime a dozen.
Right. Well, I'm very familiar with Alpine, of course, but and they're not always the easiest properties to insure.
There's a lot of areas like that
Yeah.
in San Diego.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the business that you've had in the past and where you're at today.
Boy, see, I started in the business with a single insurance company known as an exclusive agent. So you just represent their products, their company alone. Didn't have any options to go outside and kind of shop around and figure out what was best. Everything was best for one individual company when that's all you have. So got into the business that way, learned a lot, thought it was going to be easy. Jumping in, I thought, everybody needs insurance. This is going to be, it's a piece of cake.
Right.
And it wasn't. It just wasn't. So success didn't come right away. We really had to kind of get our feet wet, learn the market, figure out where our products really benefited people the most. And once we did that, it started to kind of sing, so much so that we got a lot of referrals that weren't exactly that target market that we had the best products for. So we ended up diverting a lot of incoming new clients to other brokerages or through brokerage arms that we had, which is kind of insurance jargon. But basically, we were giving away as much business as we were taking in. And so it prompted me and my business partner at the time to say, hey, why don't one of us resign from the company, start an independent agency, and then if it fits an independent agency model, we'll go there. And if it fits the original company that we worked with better, then we'll go there. And best of all worlds, we can help everybody a lot more efficiently.
So let me ask you this question, because we talk about this on the show and in classes that we do, our workshops and such, and there's a difference between an agent, which is kind of where you were at before when you got started, versus a broker. And a broker has so many more opportunities, so many different companies that they can look at, and it's not just one cookie cutter form for that individual to be able to explain to their consumer. So what you're kind of telling me is that you became more of a broker as your time taught you, and you can elaborate on there too, but it's very important, and again, we talk about these things because it's so important to have more of a broker when it comes to insurance in the world that you're in property and casualty. We talk about it in health insurance, and it's where they're not really, just proprietary to one company. It gives you a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, there's a lot of different distinctions between agent and broker in the legal sense when you sign a contract with an insurance company, whether or not you're representing them as an agent or a broker. But in the general sense, which I think is a more broad understanding in the general public, an agent typically is an exclusive representative of that insurance company. It's not that they're not there to help you and help you find out what's best from what they have to offer. But a broker is more of somebody who works on your behalf to find the right insurance company, the right contract that fits your needs the best. That's oversimplifying it in a big way. But for the most part, that's the understanding in the general public.
Well, and that's good, because I don't think a lot of people know out there that having true advice from someone that can actually go out there and do something that's in your best interest. We talk a little bit about fiduciary responsibility. Agents and brokers are not fiduciaries, but they still have to kind of look out for what's in the best interest of the consumer. And so why is that important? You want to make sure that you have someone looking out for you, what's doing the best interest of your business, for you to protect your personal assets, your business assets, and so much more. So again, I think we use a lot of these words where it's complicated stuff, but we're trying to make it more simple for the consumer to be able to make better decisions, right?
Absolutely. I consider that my job, is to take something like insurance, which is just rarely understood, often misunderstood, and make it comprehensive yet simplified. Right. So we want it to be as useful and beneficial as possible. And there's a lot of little pieces that you have to move around to make it fit correctly. But you also have to be able to communicate that in a simplified way to make it easy to understand.
And you have a passion for this. So where did that passion come from?
Good question. Probably just growing up in a wonderful family. I've been blessed beyond what I could ever deserve, but I've always had a lot of help, whether it was with relationships or learning something, but I've always been encouraged, and it kind of just translated into something that I have a need to do for others now, is just to help people understand things, solve problems, and encourage others. So I think that's where it comes from.
I think it's great, because it has more of a serving type of place that you're coming from, which is great. When I was young, I always thought I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to help people, but I never knew that I would ever come into this industry. I couldn't be more excited about being in it, because it is about giving back. It is about educating. It is about taking care of people. And I love it. I share your same passion for that. So tell me a little bit about this. You have 4 children, and they are... Go ahead and tell me the ages of your kids.
They're 6, 8, 10, and 12. In any given month of the year, those could change. So
oh, wow.
It's no use guessing.
Yes. I know you and your wife are very busy.
My wife,
busy.
Much busier than I am. She does the hard work. I just go to the office.
You just go to the office. You just go to work.
Here I am.
and your fun fact is this, that your wife's maiden name is DiMaggio.
It is indeed.
So how was that when you first met her? Was that kind of a selling thing for you?
I'm not a real baseball buff. It's playoff season, so I love playoffs.
Right.
I love baseball right now. But I was never a huge baseball fan, so much so that my wife actually taught me a few things, because she was into softball, and the family name carried some tradition that...
Yeah, I think that's amazing. So she's a distant relative of Joe DiMaggio? She
is, and I don't remember off the top of my head whether it's like a 4th cousin or what it is, but it's something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. I'm sure that's a fun fact when you're going and talking to people about stuff, if they just kind of throw something out there, a little zinger for you, like, oh, hey, by the way.
It's fun. The talk was originally that I should have taken her name and been Joe DiMaggio, but I'm just poor when it comes to playing baseball, so I thought that would be a
Joe
disgrace.
Deutsch DiMaggio.
Yeah, right. I'll hyphenate it. Yeah.
So the company that you're representing now, what's the name of that company?
Champion Risk and Insurance Services.
Okay. And if people have questions for you, do you want them to come through us, or do you want them to actually give you a call?
Either way, whatever they're most comfortable with. Sometimes they're most comfortable asking you because they've got such a good relationship,
Sure.
and we just act as a resource to you or directly to the consumer.
Yes. And Joe's been a great help for our clients in the past and other people too. We love to give input back to just really more of a resource where they can actually do more work and get much more of an effort and benefit with a lot more knowledge out of it. So we want to say thank you so much for coming today. We're really grateful for your time. We feel very blessed for that. And, if you all have any questions out there for Joe or for myself out there, so give us a call at 619-640-2622, or feel free to email us questions with an S at Dawson.com. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We have another great interview coming up shortly.